first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. We specialize in ambient light rejection technology. Now, as I said before, when it comes to untested screen paint mixes, projection screens, and so forth, we can't say untested, certified screens, so those screens are tested. But untested screen paint mixes that do no sort of any kind of demonstrations, no distance throws, no showing off the difference between contrast levels, showing off the difference between colors, nothing whatsoever. They constantly have to stay in the dark. Their tricks are basically low lighting, high powered projectors, and a lot of colors flashing across the screen, and that's the only way they can produce an image. I can sit here, like I said, yesterday I walked, did a Starfield demonstration. I can get up, we're in the afternoon, about 1 o'clock or so, and I can sit here with my screen at 126 inches, my projector sitting 18 feet back, and I can basically display a Starfield demonstration. It's daytime outside right now, as you can see. And this is where other gray screen paint mixes can go. Other certified gray projection screens can go. Gunmetal screens, as in the big boys, and this screen that was already tested against the Darkstar 9, the Parallax, and it was tested against what was the other Darkstar we did? The Parallax. It was another screen. I can't think of it. It'll come to mind. But anyway, with 3 certified screens, gunmetal screens we tested against, it was able to surpass them with no problem whatsoever. That's the reason why we do all our test demonstrations live, because I can always go back and say, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. Now, from all the demonstrations I've seen from other companies, like I said, ambient light controlled environment. Nothing sitting in windows, the windows are blocked out, you know what I mean? The environment is made to look like it's well lit when it's not. Now, as I told you, when it comes to the gunmetal technology, not only can it produce high white levels, but, excuse me, it can produce a contrast level, something that other gray screen paint mixes can do. And like I said many times, if you feel that I'm wrong in these demonstrations, feel free to match or better the demonstration. I'm gonna let my Starfield demonstration play. Something that a $4,000 ultra short throw projector can't do. And some of these high-end projectors that I've seen with Screen Innovation and some of these bigger companies using $24,000 and $50,000 projectors don't do demonstrations on this level. This is a 720p SVGA projector I'm using. ViewSonic. Price tag for that, 150 bucks. There's another screen firing off in the next one over there, watching little cartoons over there. Let's see what we need to get today. Now, I always explain to people that never ever test against our technology unless you're prepared to go against it. We've already done this stuff already. We've already done right from the door. We tested out screen paint mixes. We did certified screens against the gunmetal. And this is why the screen's sitting in the window at 126 inches. Not 100 inches, 126. My screen actually a little higher than my windows, but as you can see, window light actually makes contact with my screen at all times. And the interesting thing about the gunmetal technology, that these screens can pull images outside. I have not seen any form of gray screen paint mixes do so. But we can do a side-by-side demonstration with half, well, we don't have to basically buy the product. We can basically just use primer, or we can just use the Prime Vision 2.0 to do the demonstration. Fine, this is simple side-by-side, fair demonstration. This is how it's supposed to be done. Nothing's mixed into the product. Both products are being hit by the same projector. Both products, well, actually your screen's taking on more light. How did you get in here? Oof. You gotta go. Seem to have a bee in my house. Around here somewhere. Ha! Gotcha. Goodbye. All right. I don't usually like to kill them. I usually like to catch them in a little glass and release them, but that one had to go. He was way too big. I wonder why I was getting close to that. So, here's the untested product in a fully lit environment. If I had this painted on 126 inch sticking in my window, this is the results I would have gotten when trying to produce contrast levels. Not very pretty, is it? Now, I want to show you something. This, on this surface, is Prime Vision 2.0. It's primer. Everyday primer, $15 a gallon. Surface making me a little dizzy. There you go. That's everyday primer. I've done this before already many times. We call it Prime Vision because it's primer. We call it Vision because you're staring at it, and 2.0 was just added for it. It's not a 2.0 game. That is everyday primer. The color red.
Getting that from YouTube.
There you go. I can do a color demonstration in a full lit environment. I've done these so many times, I couldn't count how many times I've done these. This is how it's supposed to be done. I could basically beat my head into a wall telling you, this is how it's supposed to be done. This is how you're supposed to do a demonstration. You're supposed to display the color, the solid color. So that way you don't get it confused with all the camouflage colors on the screen. You're just seeing straight red because you need to see how your projector is seeing color. That's why I show you reds, blues, greens, and so forth. Now, as I tried to explain to a certain visual how it's done, you don't sit in the dark. You don't display a movie. You don't basically camouflage in colors and have it in the dark. You shouldn't be in the dark to begin with. You should be in a fully lit environment. Because if your customer is buying that product, number one, they need to know if they have to be in the dark or they can be in a fully lit environment. You should be displaying that. Much like I'm going to be displaying a Black Nova outside on a 250-inch screen around 6 o'clock in the evening, that thing's going to pull an image with no problem. But this is how you're seeing color. That gray paint on that big screen, that is everyday primer. $15 primer. I have no idea how you're ever comparing. Well, whatever you have in that product, it's got to be whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Your fake paint projects, that's what you do. But you don't do any real demonstrations. This is a real demonstration. This is how demonstrations are supposed to be done. See the color I'm displaying, and I show you people? This is how the projector is supposed to see. In a fully lit environment, if your screen washes out like this, that means your projector has to be calibrated because you can't see the color correctly. It's not picking it up correctly. There's nothing wrong with the projector. The projector is working perfectly fine. It's the screen that can't pick it up. That's the problem. Some people feel they have to upgrade and buy a much more expensive projector. You don't have to do that. I'm using an SVGA 720p projector. There's no problem with the projector at all. It's the screen that can't pick it up. See how it changes over to blue? It doesn't pick up color because your white levels are way, way, way too high. White screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
See how high your white levels are? See how high the white levels on the primer? Your white levels are actually matching the same white levels on the primer. The color gray.
Getting that from YouTube.
Oh, actually, we got some light blue in there. Let's throw some light blue in there.
If you want to be a winner, then get a turkey foot from Subway. That's oven roasted turkey, pound pie with crisp veggies and freshly baked.
So there's light blue. This is why calibrated is needed, because you cannot see color. And it's picking up the same color as the primer. Let's go over to, let me see. Here we go. Bronze. A bronze screen. See? Doesn't pick up color. LG Beta Fish.
Getting that from YouTube.
In the LG Beta Fish demonstration, these are OLED demonstrations. The backgrounds are always black to display the deep, rich images of an OLED TV. I can do this easily in a room full of ambient light, sitting in windows with my lights on. Outer space screensavers.
Getting that from YouTube.
Matter of fact, let's do the New York City. And this is where they mess up. Can't see contrast, can't see color. Your white levels are way too high. And keep in mind, primer does the same thing. Primer is an untested product. There is no form of science when it comes behind primer. Primer is designed for one thing, to pretty much leave a base coat for a surface to allow you to apply an application. That's all it is. That's all primer is. And your product is matching primer perfectly with no problem. So you want to talk about quality. That's a $15 can of paint that I'm using on that larger sheet. Nothing special added to it. Everyday grade paint. That's all it is. And I can take multiple certified screens. The technology's already been tested against it. We have the proof to back it up. This is an untested screen paint. These screen paints are untested because they're not even screen paint, they're paints. That's it. Can't call them a screen paint. Sony 4K demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
product is matching primer. Remember when I showed you the color of solid reds? That's how it sees red. It's faded, it's washed out, images don't pull up correctly. And keep in mind, for anyone that's going to sit there and say, well, it doesn't look the same way in his demonstrations, he's using in the dark with a $4,000 projector. I can take my 5,000 lumen Chrissy upstairs, and that's a really high-end projector. I can put that in the dark with some primer, and I guarantee you it'll react the same way. Starfield demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
When you're feeling good, you put it all out there. My man, RX Bar puts it all out there. With protein bars made from simple ingredients and no BS.
You see the sun pushing through my windows right now? Your product is primer. That's what it is. Nothing more, nothing less. Anyone can make primer look good. Go out and do the same thing with lazy gray. You can do the same thing with cyber gray. You can do the same thing with bullseye primer. Same thing. Reacts the same way. Got a stick downstairs in the basement covered with lighter primer that matches this screen with no problem. There's no difference in it at all. You take this one, you put it next to this one. This one is lighter than that one, that's it. So it's only off because it probably has a couple of shades of black in it, that's it. But this right here, this is with no black in it at all. That's just everyday primer. Now, this is where the individual doesn't use any form of common sense, and I'm explaining to you why. Number one, it's always going to produce any color that's going to be darker than white is always going to produce a slightly lower white level. That's just basic common sense with any gray screen. There's no such thing out there as DMP Supernova is going to come out with a super dark screen that is basically going to be to produce the same white levels as a white screen. You're going to sacrifice some of the white levels in order to basically heighten the contrast levels, and those contrast levels are going to heighten the color. That's just basic common sense. Now, you have a screen paint called UV Mix, which is a dark gray screen paint. If I take that dark gray screen paint and I stick it against the screen paint you have over there, and I show off white levels like a snowstorm, that particular screen paint is going to show up extremely dark, and it's not going to pull the same white levels as your lighter gray screen paints. But by you coming on YouTube and doing a demonstration by saying gunmetals come out so dark, oh man, you got to get off of that nonsense right there. Everybody knows that any gray screen, if you heighten dark levels on a gray screen, you're going to basically lose some white levels. Same thing like an ultra light gray screen paints, which we developed too. If we heighten the white levels on that, we're going to lose color, we're going to lose contrast. But the difference is our ultralight gray screen paints, which did beat your product with no problem, beat the gray primer with no problem, beat certified screens with no problem, and have testing to back up that gray technology, can pull contrast level, can pull darker colors. Now, as I said before, if you feel that I have done wrong in the demonstration, all you have to do is basically match or better the demonstration I'm doing right now. That's all you got to do. In a fully lit environment. No dark environments. You can use the projector, I don't care. But no dark environments. This obsession with being in the dark. Good gracious. It's sad. No. See, I just came out and just turned my lights on just for the sake of it. I just pop my lights on with no problem. I don't have a problem here with that. Tropical 4 fake. Tropical cancel. Butcher that one. Tropical 4K fish. As a matter of fact, let's go pull this out. You should be able to pull a stark field. If you're claiming, like I said, we develop, all the technology we develop has to pull contrast level. It has to. Even the light grays have to pull contrast levels. And that's like our mid-level technology. And this is about as light as this, and it can pull a contrast level easily. So, with that being said, you should be, if you're saying your product is better than ours, then you should be to display the contrast level with no problem. I don't think you're going to stay up here on that too well. And that projector sitting on the floor has a 4,000-to-1 contrast. That's it. Now, once we finish the rest of the test on the Elitist, which we're going to be done with that one, I think I'm going to finish that one today. I'm going to get that thing out of the way because I've been kind of dragging my feet on the Elitist. I'm going to get it done, get out of the way, get on the website. We're going to paint that screen back over to Prime Vision 2.0. And I'm going to show people on every time you do a demonstration, we're going to match your product on that screen and show you it's going to pull up the exact same image. It's going to match perfectly, as we did before, to a $15 primer. It's a $15 primer right here. That's all it costs. And on the back for sign. Because you don't have any tests at all. And we already tested your product against gunmetal. As a matter of fact, your customers requested that test to have your product tested against the gunmetal. And like I said, as we displayed in the room over there, you can't pull color, you can't see it, and you can't pull contrast. Your white levels come up way too high. But then again, primer comes up way too high too. Now, since you want to get into about how dark gray screens, this is your UV mix. This is how dark your UV mix is. We're going to put this against a white screen, and we're going to put on white levels to see exactly how your screen reacts. Because that's a very dark mix you have here. I wonder if we stick this against our screen, will it blend into our screen? You think that's possible? No, it doesn't. A Signature 17 coating that's applied to that surface is darker than your screen. How about if I put that against Black Nova and see which one pulls the higher contrast level? We'll do that tonight. We'll do a demonstration. Mind you, this is the dark gray screen paint you develop under the UV mix. And we'll put it next to a gunmetal, which we already did. We're going to put definitely gunmetal. You can't pull a contrast level. Gunmetal pulls a contrast level heavier than your screen. Your screen comes up kind of a light gray. It's all your products against the Signature 17. Neither one of them can see contrast. I'll have all your products up here pretty soon. And you know what? That 250-inch Black Nova that's going outside, you're going outside with it at 6 o'clock in the evening and watch that thing pull a Starfield demonstration at 250 inches. Oh, I can't wait to start working on that thing. Sample surface is already coming in. What we got to do is figure out a place where we're going to paint this massive screen. And then we got to get it hooked up outside. Do some demonstrations off of it. That's how your screens even up to a Signature 17. As a matter of fact, we don't got to wait for the 250. I got a 135-inch of Black Nova sitting outside. We'll play with that one today. We'll put you on a 43 out there and see what happens. That's what I tell you people, that none of the products have been tested. Look at his video demonstrations, look at our test demonstration. It doesn't do anything we do at all, period. At all. But since you want to get into screens producing such a dark image, I'm going to throw up a white screen. I'm going to put up a snow demonstration. As a matter of fact, do we have anything around here laying around? We can do that right now? I wonder. Actually, we can do that. Where's my, I'm looking for my all-white projection screen. That's what I need right now. All white. It's got to be here somewhere. No, I just recently saw it. Huge all-white elite screen. Ah, found it. I found it. Here we go. I found it. 135-inch elite white screen. A little test here quick. Let's see, where are we going to do this at? I can hang it from there and clamp it. I think I'm going to hang it from there and clamp it. That way. That's not the clamping. Get my clamps. Well, be a lady tonight. I'm gonna go upstairs and get my projector. We're gonna do this right now. Because now I'm curious. Hold on for a minute, I gotta take the Wi-Fi off. Wi-Fi. Man, I'm feeling much better because I had so much grass, man, in front of my house and back of my house. It was insane. And like I said, my neighbor went out there, cut everything down for me. I could breathe much better. So basically, all that grass was infecting me. All that stuff was pushing into the house. It messed me up. So I got a little bit of cough here and there, but nothing as bad as it was before because I couldn't talk like this without basically coughing constantly all the time. Man, my allergies were lit. So, yeah. So I got him on, paid him today. Let him know that. And yeah, when the grass gets that high, cut it. That's $100 right there. Because, man, I feel so much better. I can breathe so much better. It's wreaking some craziness on me. Let's grab the remote control for this too. Now that's an elite all-white screen. I was able to obtain that. I'll tell you that magical story when I come back. I need to get a remote control, which I forgot to grab. So I'm going to use the Chrissy 43 on this one. See how close we come to a white screen. You see a difference. We'll let the sloths chill in here for this one. It's no biggie. And people, this is a white screen. It's not only a white screen, this is a white elite screen. I got this because I ordered 135-inch screen from Elite Screens, and they forgot to put in the tension rods, which means you can't build a screen without the tension rods. And I went to a bit of a nightmare trying to get the tension rods, but they made it such a hard time. I didn't want to basically give them my parts. And that's all I wanted, so I can build the freaking screen. And then I ended up going through some nonsense trying to get my money back. And then, long story short, Amazon gave me the money back. And I bought another screen. That's how I got the screen upstairs. But they never came and picked it up. So I got left with this giant 135-inch Elite screen. So I figured, might as well use it for something. All right, so this is how images come up. We're using a 4300 lumen Chrissy projector, 1920 by 1200. Plenty of power, plenty of push. And this is what comes up. This is what you get. And it's exactly what you get. Let's go switch over to our screen here. Did I just knock out my freaking own equipment over here? I think I did. Hold on for a minute. Let's see if that or Alexis is having a fit. We got to unplug her, put it back in real quick. There we go. She'll be pushing back up. Now usually with screens like the certifieds we have over here, they automatically do white screens. Oh, it's starting to get warm. It's only time to start putting in AC. Anyway, they automatically test against white screens constantly all the time because, you know, I can see about that because, you know, majority of most people have white screens, you know, companies and businesses and stuff like that. And they're trying to acquire them to basically change all their screens for their stuff. They have to show there's a difference between that and the white screen. And it has to show a significant difference because you're not going to go out and change out all the screens in your establishment if there's only a slight little margin of a difference. You might just stay with the white screen and save your money. Okay. See how it's displayed here? We'll go back to my home right there. There's my home. Now everybody knows the background, the fire sticks are supposed to be black, right? That's how it's supposed to look. It's supposed to look like you're actually looking at a TV, not washed out, bland, bright colors. None of that nonsense. There you go. See the difference? See how faded the reds look here? Look how deep the reds look there. Look at the blues. Now watch me put it back over here. Where did the blues go? They washed out. There we go. Right here. Right over there. Now if that's not enough for you right there, let's make it a little bit more obvious for you. Let's go over and let's pick up YouTube. This is why you want to stay away from white screens. And if you think that looks nightmarish, wait till we go outside. I've done enough of those demonstrations. I love doing those. But basically we do black screens versus white screens outside. Yeah, it's a big difference. It's a huge, huge difference.
We get to figure out what a bombshell is, you know? matter what you think you're supposed to.
And see where all the contrast is gone? Not even there, it's gone. No contrast. Screen looks faded and washed out. The only thing you're picking up is the color. Somewhat. Let's go switch over to our screen. That's how it's supposed to look. Contrast is needed to make the color pop. It is needed. We're going to go with the screens in a few minutes. Color blue. This is how blue shows up on a white screen. There's your blue right there. Now, let's go switch it over to our technology. There you go. That's what blue is supposed to look like. When someone sits there and tells you that it's not good to go near a darker screen, they are a complete idiot. And I'll tell you why they're a complete idiot. Because if that was the case, then Black Diamond, the Dark Star 9, I'm going to butcher this, Parallax, the darker screens wouldn't cost so much money. It's the lighter screens that are cheaper. Not the lighter screens, because they can't pull it, they're very close to a white screen. They can't pull the contrast correctly, they can't pull color correctly. They basically fade and wash out when any kind of ambient light hits the screen. Those are the ones that are cheaper. Those are mid-level screens, and the cheapest one you can get is a white screen. White screen is the bottom dollar, the cheapest screen you're going to get. After that, you're going to get the lighter gray. The lighter the gray the screen, the cheaper it's going to be. The darker it is, the more expensive it's going to be. Do your homework. Find out how much the top elite screens cost. Not talking about elite screens, but elite screens on the market. They're all dark gray. Even Optima has a gunmetal screen. Yep, the projector, they have a gunmetal screen. Now, let's go over and let's grab these screen paint products. How much of a difference are you getting when you display blue next to the screen paint products? As I was saying, that's a really good blue. No, it ain't. That blue is washed out. That's a washed out blue. I know you're going to sit there and say, no, Ken, no. That is a blue. No, it isn't. It's washed out. Oh, wait. Forgot to do something. Now you see it? It's a washed out blue. It's not picking up blue at all. Does that look like blue to you? That's not blue. Now, let me show you something. Mind you, this is our primer. This is our primer that we purchased for a gallon. I think I should get some more tape on that, because otherwise it's going to simply fall off and break. That's our primer we purchased for a gallon. So we have screen paint mix here, the Metallica 2.0, and over here we have gray primer, purchased at Home Depot. As I told you, my source, Home Depot. That's primer. Let's get a little closer. The primer produces a much better color than his product. And that cost me $25 a gallon. Now, keep in mind, to be fair, Because people can't sit there and scream and cry, oh, well, you're unfair. No, because I did a demonstration and I did the gray primer against our gray technology. I'll post that below so you can check that out to show you the difference between our light gray screen paint versus primer. Oh, I do all the tests. I love doing tests. See, I don't hide from that because I like doing, that's why we're doing this live right now. All right, now we're going to take this off our screen, right? We're going to stick this over here on our signature 17 with the invisible black coating, right? Right there. And then we're going to switch and come over here. Isn't that interesting? Where our technology can see blue. And look at the primer. It faded even faster. Over here, it had a chance on the white screen. It was able to pick up a somewhat blue level. But on here, it picks up nothing at all. Period. I told you just about anything can beat a white screen. I told you it already. You can go out and you get a bucket of gray primer and you can throw that against a gray screen and you will see an improvement. Anything will beat a gray screen. Gray screen's easy to beat. That's why we do our demonstration. I'm sorry, white screens are easy to beat. That's why we do our demonstrations. We do them against certified screens because that's a more harder screen to go against. All right, let me show you something here. There's Crow's product here. Look at it against our screen. See how it washes out? No problem. That's the difference between our technology and our dark technology versus your light gray. You can't match up to it on no level whatsoever. The only screen you can compete with is a white screen. All right, let's switch you back over to the white screen. All right. In fact, let's take the gray primer off because we already know this product matches primer, so that's already done. Now look at this. In these demonstrations, if you notice, when you watch my demonstrations, we don't do the whole cheap shot nonsense. Like, you know, take some mix, whatever nonsense he has, mixed together and try to claim it as ours. We don't do that nonsense. We don't do a demonstration where you're watching a movie and he's doing a demonstration in the dark. We're in a well-lit environment. You're seeing colors, straight blues, greens, reds. This is what we're displaying to you. You see the switch back and forth. Everything is clear and to the point. There's no camouflage, there's no smoke and mirrors in no dark environments. None of that nonsense. There we go, switch back over. This is why he doesn't do demonstrations like us, because his product won't do well. Now, color red. I do say color red. Now you're thinking, he's picking up a good red. No, he's not. He's not picking a red at all, period. It's not coming up. It's actually faded. It's supposed to be darker than that. Much darker than that. And again, there's the primer. Picks up the same color too. That's the color of red. If you're buying yourself a brand new car and you said paint it red, what you want that red? See, we can do this all day back and forth, all day. all day. This is the part that he needs to understand. If I test my product against certified, let me repeat that again, certified gray screens as a matinee silver Seymour 81.3, we got that screen called the Lux, all these different certified light gray screens. What makes you, and we're able to do this demonstration live and show color demonstrations, contrast, white levels, the whole 9 yards, and that screen's able to produce an image without turning dark or how you portray it. What makes you think your product is going to be able to outdo that test when you haven't done the test to begin with? Yeah, you got to think about that. You haven't done any of those tests to begin with. And I'm not talking about that color splash formation. I'm talking about showing colors, straight colors. How does your projector see red? This is why you're told to calibrate. And you've never heard me ever say calibrate a projector. Never, ever. I've had people come on my channel and say, oh, you got to calibrate. No, you got to calibrate. I don't have to calibrate. My screen sees red. I don't have that problem. I don't have that problem. You have that problem, not me. You. I'm not calibrating jack. I don't have to. Why? We've got screens that are green, red, what the other color? Blue. Oh, I gotta get more tape for that. Green, red, and blue, different colors that can see color, and these screens can't. If you're having a hard time picking up color in a fully lit environment, how much harder is it going to be? I hope you didn't clean this stuff to be outside worthy. Because man, that is not going to go too well. Look at that. And all the while you're matching that $25 bucket of primer. Okay, let's go in. We know automatically this is going to match up. Primer. Let's grab something else. Let's grab some different splash of colors. Let's go with we got the wrong remote control for that one. 4K demonstrations. Let's see how close they come to that primer. Hello? I'm doing pretty good. That's extremely close to a $25, a $15 bucket of primer. Oh, $15, $15 gallon of primer. Now, let's come out of here real quick. We're just going for a minute. We're just going to do this for a minute. Probably can read the minds of some of y'all probably saying, well, put it on your screen. Do the same thing. Oh, gladly. I have no problem doing that. Gladly. You never have to ask me to do that. Come on now. Gladly would do that for you. No problem. You don't have to ask. I would do that automatically. I like doing this kind of stuff. Oh, you want to see the primer too, right? Let's get the primer too. Yeah, let's get the primer too. There we go. Let's swing our projector over. Now, what I find interesting about this is the Signature 17. And even with the Nova, our screen's supposed to be so dark you can't see it. It's supposed to have this really dark black shadow that basically disrupts the picture quality and makes it impossible for you to even watch. And yet it's not having that problem when these screens are far lighter than the technology that we're displaying. Isn't that interesting? I love saying that. Isn't that interesting? "4K fish." Now, of course, like I said, they're going to be display a higher white level. Yeah, because it's a lighter gray screen. Where our screen is going to be to produce a contrast level that their screen can't produce, and produce color that their screens can't produce. But to say that the technology is going to be so dark you can't see it, yeah, pish posh. Pish posh. Pish posh. See? That's how high the white levels are on the Signature 17. And that same technology, basically, well, similar, same part of that technology, is embedded in some of the Nova, which we're going to be doing those demonstrations upstairs anyway, because we got 151 inch up there laying on the wall. There you go. Now, let's go back over here. And let's go pull up. We'll take our primer. Well, we call the primer Prime Vision 2.0. That's what we call it. Like I told you, you can go get primer and throw it up against a screen. It's going to show a difference. It's great. You know what I mean? It's going to show a difference. It's great. I know, I'm getting more tape as I'm talking right now. Ugh, because this one right now, between sticking it on that thing right there, the Prime Vision 2.0, the technology of tomorrow. No, it isn't. Calica Mix 2.0. Now, you want to speak about quality. $25 a gallon, $107 a quart. What you want to talk about quality? I could do the same thing for $25. For $15. I can do the same thing. But you can't take that primer and stick it against my screen because it's going to wash it when it comes to color. It's going to wash out when it comes to contrast. It does the exact same thing his product does. Look at it up close. Let's go back and let's take this. Let's put this over here. We're going to leave this one here, over there. Leave that there. Let's go back and let's pull up something else. And still, keep in mind, I was requested to turn my screen around to show the black part of it, the vinyl, next to a black Nova, and it didn't match at all, period. But still, we put a request in there. It was never done. And the request was to basically take primer or that free screen paint mix that you deleted off your channel and match that against your product and do those demonstrations as we're doing to see how close they match. It's never done. That's something to hide. Let's go over here and let's pull up something else. Let's see how it all blends together. Let's go pull up a white doggies. Now, I said before, the only screen that's going to pull up a 100% white level is going to be a white screen. Anything else is going to pull up a darker level. For Crow to come out there and say, act like his product does not produce a low white level because it's gray, it does produce a low white level. Because you take away from that, the minute you added in that gray product or black product, it takes away from the screen. Just like, and we tell you, now mind you, but the problem is he doesn't tell you this. He wants you to perceive that no, his product is the brightest. It's always going to be the brightest. No, it's still going to suffer with white levels next to a white screen. Just like if you were to take a light gray screen and put it against a black screen, a light gray screen is going to pull a higher white level. That's just basic common sense. But this is how your product looks next to a white screen. Since you want to rave about your white levels all the time. That's how it comes up. And of course, it's matching the primer. Nothing's going to beat the white level white screen. Virtually impossible because it's the only screen that can pull up a natural white level. Just like when it comes to black screens, no screen's going to match a contrast level on a black screen. When you're doing those demonstrations in the dark and you're trying to see if you can pull the same contrast levels, then turn the lights on, do all the demonstrations in a fully lit environment, and put a black piece of paper in the middle of your screen and see if you can match that black piece of paper. Now, I'll show you my end. Because like I said, I don't hide anything from you. The first thing I do when I display any certified screen, the first thing I do is I show the white levels first. Always. Always. Now, I know for a fact, basic common sense, and even on my website, it clearly says that white levels are going to be a tad lower when you're dealing with darker screens. It says that. I know my white levels are going to be a little lower, but to say that they're going to be black and dark where you can't make out the screen, no, that's him. That's clearly him. I'm not going to tell you that the white levels on a black screen are going to be the same as a white screen or a gray screen. No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But the contrast levels on our technology is going to be darker. We're going to be able to pick up richer colors. It's a trade-off. But he doesn't explain that to you. Now, as he stated, that screen is supposed to be so dark. Sorry about that. That screen is supposed to be so dark that it's supposed to have these black spots on the screen. No. Our colors, yeah, it's going to be slightly a little darker, but it's not going to produce an image that's going to be so black you can't see the screen. So that dark product or whatever he's using over there, like I said, fake demonstrations. Because I can come on here, show his product, and show the primer. And show you where you can see where our screen's going to pull up a white level. It's not going to be as high as that screen, no. Because these are lighter screens. But it's going to pull up a white level where the image is not going to be so dark that you can't see it. And that's the image he's trying to paint. And that's why we're going to record it. That's why you gotta stop doing those fake demonstrations because I don't have anything to hide. I'll come out here and do the demonstration, no problem. Just like when you asked me to turn that screen around, I ain't got nothing to hide. I'll flip that screen around, no problem. But if we request for you to do something, you won't do it. Because you got something to hide. So where are those dark, heavy spots? That black image is supposed to be so dark that you can't see the image. I might even request for my attorney to have you paint a screen in the courtroom. Your product, not ours. The stuff that you were using. Now, you put that against a white screen. See? You put that against a white screen, something that has the highest white level. And you can see where his product now turns dark. Nothing new. Everybody knows, anybody who has any common sense, knows anything how colors actually work, that if you're going to have a screen, I got to put more tape on it. If you're going to have a screen that is going to be going against a color that's going to have a lighter color, its other screen is going to produce a higher white level. That's just basic common sense. But that stuff you're mixing or whatever you're making over there, yeah, that's not our product. We do these tests all the time. That's why your product's looking like that. Now, hold on a minute. Let's not forget the UV mix. Let's not forget that. This is your dark gray screen paint that you make. Let's show you how this goes up against a white screen. This is the UV mix. Right here. Because you don't talk about contrast levels. You can't talk about well, you do talk about contrast levels, but you do all those in the dark. Your screen can't produce contrast. But let's talk about the UV mix. When you talk about all your bright colors, your bright colors, your bright colors. Okay, well, let's see where this lands at. That is your UV mix. That's how it comes up on a white level. I'm going to try to stare at that for a minute. And next time, if you're going to try to fake or whatever, display our labels, which you have not displayed any of the labels. We have all your products right here. We display your labels right there. We have your products. That's how your UV mix comes up. Let's go with, where's it at? I need to figure out where I put that at. Oh, it's in my pocket. White screensaver. That's how dark your screen comes up. Skyworth food demonstration. Now, keep in mind, when you do those fake demonstrations against that black pen, I don't know what that crap is you got in that container. When you do those demonstrations, you basically put your lightest gray screen pen against it to try to show off how white your levels are. Now, we got a white, super white screen, which is white, and showing off how your product picks up off of it on white levels, for real, not the fake demonstrations you've been doing. We're doing the real ones over here. There's your product. That's your UV mix going against the white screen. So if you want to talk about how you pull up super high white levels, we do white screen testing all the time. We have to. Always have to do testing against white screens. But this is how your UV mix comes up. You have never did a demonstration showing off your UV mix versus a white screen. We always show off our black technology versus white screens all the time. Now, this is your very white screen versus your dark product. And this is our dark product versus your light gray screen paint. Let's see if we can get if our image will come up that dark. It doesn't, because our technology has coding in it. It can read white levels. Your product, just paint. That's all it is. Your product right now, we have a light gray screen next to my black technology. When I switch it over to the white screen, having the highest white level next to your screen basically picks up what? Picks up a dirty image. How about this? Some people may say, well, Ken, that's not fair because this background you're using for his screen is white. And Crow's product right here is gray. All right, that's true. White sheet of paper. Told you have to do these tests all the time. Again, our screen still doesn't come up dark. And you see all the feature missing from out of the white screen. That's the difference between my technology and yours. My screen can see white levels, yours can't. There you go. Give you a good chance to look at that. So that's our screen when we test against white paper. Keep in mind, I'll explain this to you. Anytime we develop black technology, it has to be tested against a white surface. It has to be. That's how we know how high to heighten the white levels on our black technology. That's how that's done. Now, that's a white screen right there, right? Against our black technology. And this is your dark gray product, your UV mix, on a white screen. There you go. So like I said, when you do demonstrations, basically displaying our product coming up that dark, I automatically know from the door that that's a fake demonstration because we test our screens against white screens and white sheets of paper and all that stuff. We have to, because that's how we figure out how to heighten the white levels on the technology. Learned something new today, didn't you? Learned something new. Today you learned something new. The stuff you think we're hiding, we don't hide that. We do these tests. The reason why you think that we think that way is because you do that. You hide your tests. This is what your UV mix looks like next to a white screen. And right over here, we have white screen with our black technology. See? That's how I know when you do those demonstrations and you mix that product in like that, you make that dark product, whatever it is you got over here doing those fake demonstrations, we know you fake it. We can back it up. You can't. So technically, for real, your product can't see a white level. You know why? There's no code in it. It's primer. Let's go switch back over. I have no problem doing these tests live because I do these tests all the time. People see some of the most craziest stuff that I do in tests. Why wouldn't I? I don't hide anything from anybody. Everybody can see everything live with no problem whatsoever. I've got no problem putting white sheets of paper against my screen and doing this demonstration. No problem with that. My screen's not going to turn dark because of the way we designed it. But your product, because it has no testing and because it's just using basically everyday primer, which has no special abilities to it, that's how it comes out. It can't see a white level. Now, if you think I'm wrong on this demonstration, feel free to do the same demonstration I just did. Take a white screen, take your UV mix, display this image, and see what comes up. You know, again, I keep telling y'all buying paint. Y'all buying everyday primer. There's nothing special about it. That's what you're getting. And to make it sound like your product is so bright that it does not produce any form of dark images onto a white screen, no, that's not true. There's your Metallica Mix 2.0. Right there. Look how dirty the image is. Because it's paint. That's all it is. primer. Does the same thing. Stick it up here. Produces the same dirty color. Ain't nothing but paint. Woo. Caught it. Yeah, reflexes. But anyway, yeah, that's all it is. Pretty much, it's just paint. And you want to talk about quality. There's no quality in your product. Unless somebody uses the basic primer wall before I'm going to basically paint a screen, yeah. Only thing I hate to say, only thing I would use your product for is primer. That's it. Because it's primer. That's literally what it is. I would just use your product to just prime a screen with before painting over top of it, which your stuff doesn't require. Because it's actually literally, it's primer. Look at that. It's matching primer right now. That's primer. That's $25, actually $15 a gallon for paint. We'll let that paper when it falls off. Rain. Make sure I shut my windows. Rain. Prime time. Prime time. Prime Vision. Optimus Prime. Prime me a river. Can you rhyme with this prime? You're lying in your demonstrations. That's never good. No screensavers. I told you, all my technology comes from God. I ain't got no problem with showing how doing demonstrations on white levels, doing demonstrations into white screens. I don't got nothing to hide. That's why I don't do dark environments. I don't depend on high powered projectors. I've downgraded my projectors. I don't need to have high end projectors. Got nothing to hide, excuse me. I do all my demonstrations live so everybody can see them. But you, on the other hand, excuse me, you do a lot of these demonstrations in the dark. Almost all of them in the dark. And you rely on those overpriced projectors like it's a crutch, much like the big companies do. They rely on the high end, the best projector they can possibly get, because just in case if the screen is lacking, the projector can make it up. But all this time, you've been lying to your customers. Number one, your product's primer. Number two, your lighter screens can't pull a contrast level in fully lit environments. You did all those in the dark. You fake all your demonstrations. And again, stop talking about quality until you can basically show everybody that your product does not match gray primer or any form of fake mixes that you've been making, especially the one you did for free online, the one you deleted the video, before you start talking about quality. And I saw that video. You keep emailing me these videos. It was hilarious. I'm sorry, it was hilarious. Your P2 sitting in the dark. I'm like, why are you doing these demonstrations in the dark? In the dark, showing off a TV, showing the quality between the two images. You want to show quality? Show a demonstration in a fully lit environment. Show a demonstration with an old projector. No latest high-tech projector. Something old, like the projector I got sitting on the floor right now that cost me $59. Do a demonstration showing contrast levels. Do a demonstration showing color patterns. Do those demonstrations. Show quality. Don't show a rush job. You're like the contractor I would never even freaking hire to come into my home. Chances are you probably may make my, what do they call those boards? Or those support boards for the wall. Something studs. I forgot the name of those things called. You probably would make them out of styrofoam. You have it. Your product matches a 15-gallon of primer. And like I said, you want the name of the paint? One's called Lazy Gray, and the other one's called Cyber. Or you can get Bullseye primer. We'll do the same thing. No difference. Told you, we used to make this stuff back in the day. The more black you put into it, what happens is the more black you put into it, you're just controlling the tone. That's all you're doing. Now, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Cancel. But you going on about how it's supposed to be, where our screens are supposed to show such a tragedy if we're doing demonstrations with lighter screens. I mean, come on, man. Like I said, I do certifieds all day long. That's what I do. And I just did a white sheet. I just did a white screen a few minutes ago. All right, let me see. Let's take these off right here. Take all these off. These are done with the primer right there. And we'll keep the UV mix up there. J and K 4K color. No, cancel. J and K. Oh, we did bring it up. Okay, cancel. J and K 4K color. I keep saying color because it's not color. J and K 4K. That's what I wanted. Let's go back. Yeah, there we go, right there. There you go. The reason why it's coming to that dark, because that's primer. There's nothing special to it. It doesn't have white. It doesn't have no coating in it whatsoever. I'm just showing you how it is. That's a 4300 lumen projector behind me. I don't know why you would have a problem with it. The 4300 lumen projector. 1920 by 1200, Chrissy. Here. Okay. That's what it looks like against our black technology. See how the screen doesn't come up dark? Because again, like I said, this coating that we developed can see white light. You can't see white light because yours is just primer. If you go down and you buy primer, any kind of paint from Home Depot, it is paint. It's designed to do one purpose: paint your walls, and that's it. It's not designed to give you 4K. It's not designed to give you ambient light rejection technology or another color coding. No, it's just designed to paint your walls. That's it. It's nothing special about it. That's why his paint's reacting different. So here we are. We got a white screen with his dark screen, and I got my dark screen with white pieces of paper laying against it. Next time you want to run your mouth talking about how our screen's supposed to come up so dark, this is your UV mix. And displaying your container so you know we have your product. See, it's interesting how you were doing demonstrations to show that when you take a lighter product against XR technology that it would come up dark. But your own stuff does this. So interesting how things work out when you basically mess with someone's blessing. You see how things work out? The very same thing that you tried to paint other people that our product is supposed to do, your product's doing it right now live. So this is the lizard right here. Instead of it coming out dark, this coming out light, and this coming out dark, it's not. There you go. See how it fades on our screen? There you go. That's how it looks on your screen. I think that gunmetal screen you're supposed to claim is supposed to be ours. I think that's your UV mix that you're using. That's what it is. Look how bad that looks.
Find a flight that's the right price. Airline, stocks, having pods, and more. Search Kayak now.
Now, interesting, you would expect for our screen to show up with that dark spot in the middle of it when your screen's doing that. There's no problem. Here's one even more. It's going to hurt even more for you. White screen. So our screen maintains. And that's how dark your screen comes up. Snow screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
And mind you, our screen is jet black, where your screen is a dark gray. And we're still maintaining a higher white level than your screen that's coming up dark. So, bottom line is, how was our technology supposed to come out that dark when your product was doing it the entire time? Philips 4K demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
Doesn't it look familiar? Of course you would know how to make that black stuff, right? Whatever weird color that is. That has no tech behind it because you have it yourself for your own product. See how it's matching your demonstrations you try to do against us? That's your own product. You make that stuff. Out it again. It's a great primer right next to your Metallica mix. Reacting the same way as your Metallica mix. 2.0. When you sell to people right now for $75 or $107, something like that. We call that the Prime Vision. Only difference is we test our screens on white surfaces. You don't. And why do you think I got a 135-inch white screen in here? For testing. You don't do that. That's why you probably know your product is going to react this way. See how your red levels are coming up too dark? Because there's no white level in your UV mix. I got demonstrations of me taking my 135-inch Black Nova and draping half of it with this white screen, doing demonstrations off of it. Got those videos to back it up. But if we take your product and we stick it against a white screen, look what comes up. I'll post that at the bottom of the link too, the half and half white screen. Yeah, we did it in here, we did it upstairs, so no problem. And I did one outside. So in these demonstrations, we're not in dark environments, and in these demonstrations, we're not selecting certain videos that make the product look good. And all the while, that's primer right over there. That's 15 bucks a gallon.
Oreo, the magnum opus of cookies and milk.
Maybe it's that special projector you got that basically does most of the work to make the screen look good. You don't use expensive projectors over here. Because I don't know how your customers relate to your videos when you're looking at a $4,000 projector. So you're going to tell them that they can get the same image off a projector if they had 720p or 1080p. They can match that same image off your screen of you using that particular projector. Or you telling them that? Because that's a lie. Now, all the projectors I have in here, pretty much anybody can buy anything better than what I have in here. My projectors are junk. They're junk projectors. Shoot, my projector in the next room is SVGA. You could bump up the XGA and be better than the projector I got in the next room, or WXGA. These are WXGA projectors. And this projector cost me 230 bucks. So there's no way in the world you're going to be able to tell your customers, well, you can use it in a fully lit environment because you don't use it in a fully lit environment. Well, the projector I'm using in the demonstration, this is the reason why the screen looks so amazing. It's not the projector, it's the screen paint. No, it's the projector, buddy. It's the projector. Because there's no way in the world you're going to convince somebody, if you're using a $4,000 projector, and they're using maybe a 720p or they're using maybe 1080p, that they're going to be to get the same image. Nah. No, 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 no. Not to make the same image, That's why I don't like it when big companies do it. I don't like when big companies do these very expensive, high-end projectors to do their demonstrations in poorly lit environments. And they say, well, look how amazing the image looks. Won't you lighten up that environment and go get your projector off eBay? Go buy a freaking piece of junk and do that demonstration and see what happens. See if you can show me a difference. Show me a difference. Show me a difference. Show me a difference. Yeah, your UV mix is way too dark. It's not picking up one white level, not one. He said, but he got the contrast. That's pretty much all he's going to get. But remember, any black surface can pick up, any black surface or dark gray surface can pull a contrast level. The important thing is the white level. Just like when we do gray screens, any gray screens can pull a high white level. The important thing is contrast. We do this all the time. Like I said, feel free to mimic the exact same demonstration if you feel that I did something wrong. And by the way, the contrast is gray, not black. And at that, look at how it's matching the primer. It's matching the primer perfectly. That's other people don't realize. It's matching a $15 paint. That tells you right there, you can just go out and just buy $15 paint. All right, what do you got left to wrap up on this? I'm pretty much done on all this. All right, I'm tired of this nonsense. Well, now you see. We did the demonstration where I took his product, I put it on a white screen, we did white skin tone, snow, the whole nine. Ooh, wait, we forgot one. We did forget one. There's one missing. We did miss one. LG snowboarding demonstration. We missed one. There you go. Again, you can't see a white level. Your technology can't pick up white. Our technology over here can pick up white. just like we can take a red screen or a different color screen and code it to see different colors, we can make black screens see height and white levels. As we can take a gray screen and we can give it the ability to see contrast, we have that capability. And we call it color coding technology. And we're proving it right here on why your product is not pulling a white level at all. So we have, and mind you, my screen is black. The coding on this technology is jet black. Your screen is gray, a dark gray. And it still can't pick that white level up. Go back to that for a minute. And you want to know how close this white sheet of paper comes to this white screen? There you go. Matches it perfectly. Just in case somebody wants to say, oh, it's not fair because, you know, he's using a white screen. No, 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 no. We cover everything. I've done a demonstration on this already. Why you don't go near white screens, because white screens are actually the same thing as equivalents to white sheet of paper. I've done that one already. So I've done, these are all the tests I have done. Which means we can back it up because I can just go into my archives and just pull it out and show it to you. Now, see how bright our screen is? You can see the image, you can see the snow, everything, the whole 9 yards. And over there on there, when you see it on that screen, well, it's dark. You got this black spot in the center of your screen. Imagine if you had the whole entire screen coated with that. So the next time you naysayers want to, well, you can't come here and chat anymore, but next time you want to run your mouth by saying, oh, my screen's so dark, you can't see it. Yeah. Interesting. It's gotta hurt. It's gotta hurt. Run your mouth talking about how dark my screens are, and the entire time his screen was coming up that dark. Get a good look at it. There you go. Can you imagine having a 120-inch painted with that? Wow. Eye-opener, isn't it? what happens when you pick and choose your demonstrations to make your product look good. That's what happens. So my screen is jet black. This jet black is pulling a higher white level than your UP mix. That's gray, a dark gray. Get a good look at it. Make sure it's the right section. Here we go. Isn't that interesting? Next to our technology, the white screen can't pick up jack. All right, we're done here. It's the reason why you don't go near untested fake screen paints. They don't do proper testing. They end up matching primer. Screens can't see white levels. They can't see color. Darker screens come up so dark. That's really a dark. It's not picking up nothing. No white levels whatsoever. And you're paying, what, $107 for that? Yeah. Good luck. Like I said, when my time comes and they pay me off to disappear, which I am, this technology I have here, it's going to be gone. You won't find it anywhere. And private companies will own it. And meanwhile, you'll have to deal with this nonsense or those expensive high-end projection screens. I even got people trying to stockpile, and that's not going to happen. You don't try to stockpile. Your order will be canceled. Because I'm not making that much paint. I'm just not going to do it. I have a certain amount of paint I like to make every week. We do 32 containers. Once we run out of 32 containers, that's it. I process for next week. That's all I need. I'm not a greedy person. And you would say, well, you're not a greedy person. How come you're sitting there about to sell your company out to other corporations? Because it's time for me to retire. Time for me to basically... I've been doing it for over 13 years. A long time. It's only ever a long time. At least those of you who do have my technology can sit there and say, well, yeah, this guy used to make them on YouTube, so and so and so. No, this won't be a thing for me anymore. I'll be in Barbados somewhere or somewhere on another part of the planet. Won't be here in the United States, I'll tell you that much. I haven't got ties. I got a bunch of ties. I got some ties over in Dubai. I got ties over in freaking DR. In England or Australia. A couple really good old friends that I've met through my company. Got a chance to meet a lot of interesting people. But while I'm here, I'm still going to be doing what I like to do until it's time for me to basically pack up and go. And that's developing high performance screen paint for my customers. Look at, always got the wrong one on us. Always the wrong one. The wrong one too? Can't be the wrong one. 4K demonstrations. Nope. 4K demonstrations. Oh, we got another freaking fire stick down here. These fire sticks freaking multiply in my house. We got 2 of them right here. So where did this one come from? Great. Got them mixed up again. This is my nightmare right here. I got 6 of these running around the house right now. 4K demonstration. Yeah, like I said, people cutting corners, man. People cutting corners, not doing their jobs correctly. Sit there and sell you fake products that don't work. We know he does stuff like that because he's threatened. Yeah, he's threatened. He doesn't do any of the demonstrations. He doesn't do any. We got a challenge out there called the Ultimate 1100 Lumen Challenge we gave to him in 2019. It was never matched. Never matched. It's still sitting there floating around. And it'll be floating around. Long after I retire, sitting on a beach somewhere, it'll still be floating around. He still won't even challenge it. Painting the screen dark gray or painting the screen black. And basically doing all these little colorful demonstrations to make your product look good is basically just showing how fake you are. I can come on here and I can do a detailed demonstration. Expose everything. Hide nothing from nobody. You don't do demonstrations like that. Too busy cutting corners, too busy being fake. I took my black screen, I put a white screen or white sheets against it. I took a white surface and put your dark gray screen against it, and I went back and forth, showing off white levels. Showing the difference between my technology hitting a white sheets and your screen over there hitting white sheets, and seeing who pulls up the better white level. Fair by the book. You don't do stuff like that. Cheap shots, that's what you do. But in the end, I come out victorious because my product works. Like I said, I can fire up every last screen in this house, and I can walk through this house and cut corners, and you will see every last screen fire up on any angle that I pull up. Can't do that. Neither can those certified projection screens too, because I call them out too. And Screen Innovation, Elite Screens, DMP Supernova, all of them. Overpriced projection screens. It's the industry, man. People in the industry are the master of the corner cutters. I was going to call it the master of the corner cutters. And meanwhile, keep in mind, as we did this demonstration on your product, we did it in a fully lit environment. Didn't even have to be in the dark to do it. Now, if you wonder what this is the Elitist, which can't get a label because I haven't got around to taking it outside. Once I take it outside, it gets a label, ends up on the website. But until I get around to it, it sits here. And right now, it looks like it's about to rain outside. And I'm not going to damage my equipment on that one. So I guess around next week, it'll be out. But I got to get this thing done because now I have the 250-inch screen in the backyard I got to paint. And I got to get that done. Then we got the tabletop projection screen we're going to build. Oh, we're building that. That tabletop projection screen, if you saw the last demonstration, we doing the gaming on the floor. Oh, we're building one of those. We're definitely going to build one of those. Definitely got to do a tabletop projection screen. We got to do one of those. If I forgot to post the video, I should have posted the video on that tabletop. I've done that before. I've done that with food. Alright, you guys can watch that. I am going to sort out the remote controls to figure out what goes where. I think that was going here. And I'm going to start getting ready to get my food ready. Because my favorite thing is to get some food and watch some Dennis the Menace, the old black and whites. I like those. Yeah, stop emailing me with dumb stuff too, on top of that. Don't turn around, jokers email me with dumb stuff. Like I said, I ain't worried about it. We're gonna crush that egg real quick. That egg's in the process of getting crushed. So I ain't worried about that. When you do, like I said, side-by-side demonstrations, you gotta be fair. We're fair in the demonstrations. I didn't just display his screen. I put my screen through the same thing his screens went through. Same thing. If I showed you red levels here, I showed you red levels here. I showed you blue here, blue here. If I showed you, we did Starfield, we didn't do Starfield at all. But if we did all the different demonstrations we did, I displayed them back to back to back on my screen. It wasn't just him, it was my screen too. When we did the white pieces of paper, put my screen right there against the white piece of paper, put his screen against the white screen, back to back to back. Gotta be fair. Whoops, we got the wrong one. What do we got over here? Which one is this one? Where's this one going to? That's the one there. This one. Good old Mr. Wilson. Oh, and we got the summer kits to do too. I forgot about them. We got the summer kits to do. The 1 gallon summer kits. They're going to come with the Grumman screens because that's going to involve the big boy in the backyard. That 200-inch screen, that's going to involve that. Let's go switch over to gunmetal for a little bit. Hey! Okay, let's leave from here. Let's go back over here. All right, people. I give myself a hot cup of tea. Sit back and relax. All right, that's this one here. The leaders, I'm gonna get it done Monday. So Monday, we just gotta paint the screen, take it outside, do the demonstration on it, and we're done. That's it, we ought to do it. And it gets this label. So this will be soon available on Monday. I gotta get this done because I'm gonna get hit into an onslaught of projects. We got the tabletop screen to build, the arcade screen, which I gotta do that for the tech room. We have 250-inch screen we gotta paint for the backyard. And then, oh man, probably got some other stuff. Oh yeah, and we got them summer kits we're gonna be doing. So the summer kits we're gonna be doing, these are gonna be screens, they're gonna be starting, they're gonna be big. They're gonna start off at 140-inch screens all the way up to a 300. If you can accommodate a 300 in your backyard, I like to see those pictures. But anyway, some are going to come with LED lights, glow in the dark LED lights. You know what I mean? The chasers, all weatherproof. Take them outside, whatever way you want to set it up, hook up your section. And we're going to do some demonstrations. So the demonstration screen, because we've got to build a demo screen. Much like this is a giant demo screen right here for the acoustic. You know what I mean? That's a demo screen for the gunmetal. We got to build a giant screen. And we're going to build a 250-inch giant screen in the backyard. Oh, yeah! That's going to be a massive screen, man. You ever seen the 180 inches we did in the backyard? We did Star Wars off of that. Imagine 250 inches. 250 inches, that'll be huge, man. Huge, huge. So I'd like to thank my neighbor for basically cutting my grass, because what me to do without that? And I can't cut it because it would kill me. Hey!
The moment you put it to use. Purchase or lease a new Infinity QX80 online today and get it now. Finance the 2021 Infinity QX80 at 0% APR for 72 months at equal Infinity controller.
Yeah, somebody barbecuing. Somebody is definitely barbecuing. Barbecue, barbecue, barbecue. So it's back upstairs in the tech room. Don't want a bunch of, oh, sorry about that. I'll let you watch this while I'm getting set up in here. Yeah, that screen was supposed to come up dark. Okay. Yeah, that's a mixing, like I said, mixing black products together to try to make things look, I don't understand people. I don't understand this particular interview. I don't understand. We do live demonstrations constantly all the time. So you get a chance to see my screens in real time in my home being displayed just about everywhere we have it in the house. So what makes you think that if you do a demonstration on top of the countless demonstrations that we do every day, that it's going to change someone's opinion by saying, oh, this is how it really looks. This is how it's supposed to really look. But seriously, he must really believe in the middle in his head that he has the last say when it comes to home theater. So someone can come out and they can do the most magnificent home theater display and he'll come out and trash it and go, no, this is how it really is. Man, you need to grow up. You can't even do this. Can't even display this in a fully lit environment. come next week, you're gonna have to do some real serious explaining. Come next week. I'm not gonna say much about it anymore. I'm not. Like I said, he'll get it. It's coming next week. He'll get it. Yeah, he will definitely get it. Oh shoot, I could have brought it. I gotta take this back to the tech room. I could have taken this with me. I'm gonna sit over here today. This is how I get set up. I like to relax. This is me. Back massager. Chill. massage your air cleaner. All right, you can watch. I got to take this. Hello?
Hey, sir, how's it going, man? Looking to run down with a bunch of your black, your Nova black, screen.
Yeah. All right, people, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna grab me something to eat because I'm hungry. It's my first meal for the day. But you gotta stop doing that. But thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed the demonstration. That's basically about it. Next few products that'll be coming up, we'll be doing those. Unfortunately, anything we're gonna be doing in the backyard is gonna be pre-recorded because Wi-Fi does not pick out up outside for Jack in the backyard. So that's just gonna be unfortunate. All right, thank you all for your time. I have to go, and God bless.